us talk about beginnings. Because I have a complicated relationship with the calendar. It's kind of a funny thing. I think humans are funny things. I think that the way that humans react with calendars is a funny thing. Let's take beginnings, for example, since that is the topic of today's service. Some of us start beginnings at New Year's. How many of you do something at New Year's? Celebration, a start, or whatever. It's a new beginning, right? Because it has a different number of the year. Random numbers on a random day, January 1st. Many start it with a party, and hopes for smooth sailing for the year. And some of us set resolutions or intentions for the year. And most of us break those same resolutions by January 4th. January 4th, thanks for asking, is my birthday. Some of us celebrate a new year on our birthdays. How many of you celebrate a new year on your birthday? Again, it is a new year based on a changing number, the number of our age. We use our birthdays to assess where we've been and what may be up for us in the next year. Some of us use other anniversaries. I know some of you have anniversaries of a transplant, or recovering from a heart attack, or of your sobriety, or of your children's births or deaths. These anniversaries are other milestones to remember, to rededicate, and to reflect. But while all of those may be true, and we may celebrate all of them and multiples of them, for me, the beginning, the ultimate beginning, has always felt, well, the most beginningist at the start of the school year. Even though I am not in school anymore, although don't put it past me to go back and get that doctorate sometime. And I don't have kids in school anymore, thank goodness, even the kind that was really expensive. And when August and September come around, no matter what, or July here in Phoenix for God knows what reason, right? That urge to buy number 2 pencils, Trapper Keepers, and new school shoes settles into my bones. And while UUCP is open and worships all year round, this time of year also feels like a beginning here. It is when we start our new fiscal year, which is not really relevant for many of you, but very relevant for our folks in finance and our administrator. It is when we start our planning for our program year. It is the anniversary of when I started as your minister 5 years ago. It starts on the programming year. It always feels like a new beginning. For UUCP, it also means that new people are joining teams and committees. It means that we start over with a new worship calendar, which is brand new and also almost full, by the way. Super weird for August. It is when the board meets to discuss goals and objectives. It's when I meet with the staff to go over their goals, both individually and shared as a community. The beginning of the program year feels fresh and new and sparkly clean. It is a slate to be filled with our new hopes and dreams, just like a journal on its first page. And if you don't know how happy new journals makes Katie feel, then you don't know Katie. It is our hopes and dreams and how we want to think about the flow of the year and anticipate what will come. So there's already some things that we're thinking about this year, some things that we're expecting, and some thoughts we're going into with in the new year. I'm sure that you have some too, and we'd love to hear them from you. But first of all, we still feel like we're recovering from the pandemic. I know we're tired of hearing about it, but we are still feeling the effects in our congregation and in our world. We are still missing some people we haven't seen since then. And we have tons of new people. We have lots of people who aren't really new anymore. We have some who are watching the full 2 years that we were online. But we have some of them who haven't quite figured out how everything works around here or how to get involved. We have had the collective trauma that I've spoke of before. There are more mental health challenges, especially in our kids, and folks haven't necessarily gotten back to a stabilized place of peopling again. Anyone else like, I want a people. I want to hide in my bed. I want a people. No, don't make me people. Is there anyone else that is feeling that? Yes, the peopling still feels new. An interesting article in The Atlantic last week said that churches are experiencing declines in membership because we don't know how to be in community the same way. We are all finding new ways to be in communities. We are still figuring out as a congregation who we are after the pandemic. Mostly, I'm tired of answering the question, how big are we now? And us saying, I don't know. We're going to try to figure that out this year. And what are the appropriate resources we need for a congregation of whatever size we are? This year, we're very exciting that we're going to be digging in with more depth into our UU values with a new sermon series and justice opportunities and faith development opportunities, really digging into our Unitarian Universalist faith. It is also a coming of age year, which is interesting because it's still an owl year, but it's also a coming of age year, and yes, we are still catching up from the pandemic. But all of this means opportunities to go deep into what we believe. We are hoping to start with being theologically diverse, but make it a theologically robust year. Thank you, Birgitta, for that language for us. We still need to have more conversations about how we are a multi-generational congregation. We're still adjusting to having one service after the pandemic. And with one service, there's not a way for our children's ministry facilitators to go to worship and volunteer at the same time. And we don't even have as many volunteers. And as we rebuild that up, we are looking for how we incorporate a really multi-generational, robust faith for our children and our youth as well. And as we strive to be radically inclusive, we are looking for ways for this congregation and this sanctuary to feel like it is a place where everyone belongs. Our children, our teens, our adults, our seniors, all with different needs for this space and this time. We are still adjusting from how it was in the before times. Some people are coming into the sanctuary and saying, where are my old friends? And some are saying, I am so excited to meet new friends. We are wishing for stability in a time of change, but we are also excited about what the change means. And there are a few realities that we know that are coming this year. One is a joyful one, which is Benji is going on sabbatical this year. It is a profound acknowledgement of the role he has as a worship and program leader in this congregation. He will be gone from January through July of 2024. And don't worry, it's Benji, so we already have a robust plan for how we are going to continue musical excellence during that time, but it will be a change for many of us. And we are coming into an election year. Can we have a really collective groan about that? I can feel the anxiety rising in all of you already. I am already hearing about how you're feeling about debates, candidates, rhetoric, the issues of the week that we can expect. Those are all to be expected, but with new layers of potential candidates with 91 indictments, trials, continued polarization, and campaign platforms that are filled with overt and covert transphobia, homophobia, misogyny, and racism, we are bracing ourselves for a really difficult year. Climate change feels like it is even more urgent as we come off a summer with record temperatures, not just in Phoenix, but hurricanes in California, increased wildfires, and extreme weather events everywhere. And the reverberating impacts of the Dobbs decision continue to impact many people's personal lives. There were 2 states where abortions were essentially banned as of yesterday, but it also changes our political and social landscape. And I want us to expect, specifically for this congregation, that we should expect the harassment from the Christian nationalist extreme right will probably continue. We are organized for that. This is not our first rodeo. Unfortunately, we are prepared, but we need to balance our reactions with our proactive stance in the community. And we are learning new ways to define safety, not in just the ways that we hand our safety over to state and police forces, but how we work to keep each other in community safe, because that is what safety is for us. And finally, I've heard from many of you the desire to participate in more justice work. I've heard the call of, where are the marches that we used to do? How can we do more work in supporting our community partners? We are missing those rallies and those gatherings and the ways to show support that were more predominant before the pandemic. We want to show up together bravely and proudly to proclaim our values and show that service is indeed our prayer. So in this new beginning, your board has come up with several goals. One is supporting a framework project that you're going to be hearing a lot more about, that's going to be some exciting work that will provide a pathway for the future, providing more communication to you and supporting the stewardship efforts of the congregation. But they have also said we are going to support the intentions that our staff have made. The staff and I have put together 3 intentions, which is foundational stability, getting that sense of, yes, this is a place where we can rest ourselves amidst the change, stabilizing the change, and also still moving forward. 2 is joy. We need joy as an antidote to all of these things going on and to build us as a community. And 3 is justice, refocusing, and engaging with justice in the world. Foundational and operational stability for the continued work of regrounding, joy as a way to heal and celebrate and build community, and justice as a way to proclaim our values in the world. These are our number 2 pencils for the year. These are our intentions. These are what we are hoping for our next birthday, anniversary, new year. These are our hopes. May we bless each other this year, and may we realize what blessings we are to each other and this community. May it be so.